Okay, hello, Tuomas is my name, and there was a lot of discussion and I heard my name several times, so maybe you know better me than I myself. This is what I promised to tell you today, tendency in infrastructure technology, BIM for infrastructure in Finland, lessons learned. I promise a lot, but I try to be very simple level. I'm a simple guy and building roads is very simple work, but if you have any questions, you just raise your hand and we take the questions when you want to ask something. There is this official disclaimer, as it should be always, but for your information, this is a presentation. And what is the company called Vianova Systems Finland? We are reseller or Trimble authorized channel partner in Finland. And we sell all the Trimble products. We sell also Autodesk products and also some local solutions. But mainly our business is based on Trimble solutions for road or infrastructure design and constructible models. That's our business. And it includes the software sales, support services, and also this maintenance services for our customers and training, of course. A little bit about Megatrends, what we have in Finland. It's called Sitra, which is doing this every year. When we build up the company and how we see the infrastructure. Is it this one? Okay, thumbs up. This sustainability crisis is now. So today, more and more infrastructure as a branch or business area, it's more and more important. And also that the global interdependency with growing tensions, that's also a big issue today. Now we have some technical issue.
Yeah, connection, I guess. Just connection.
Don't touch anything. Okay, let's try like this. No. Okay, it's blinking, so really fast. It's getting worse. I have to keep my hand over here. No.
Okay.
Okay.
Just tell the story.
I will tell the story. Okay. But basically it means that today it's not that simple that you have just a software vendor who delivers the software. There has to be a lot of knowledge, a lot of collaboration between different technologies. And also that our customers has changed. In the old times it was really nice that you had a software and then you said we have a software, you can use it like this. People use the software and make the design work and it was fine. Today people know that they want to do things by their own way and they ask that can you bring some kind of solutions for us. So nowadays people want to do what they want to do and we have to deliver what they want. So now we have turned upside down this stream in the business-wise. What has, if we go back to the topic, it's about this BIM. So a couple of years ago in Finland, we got that the owners came and authorities came and said that we want BIM. And they were very strong message for vendors and service providers. And they wanted more productivity and innovations, more seamless data flow in project, because they paid many times the same issue in for example, initial models in design phases. They lost lots of data in the projects, and they wanted to have an open and visual process. They wanted to know how the project goes and follow up very tight, because there has been problems with the schedules and costs. And the life cycle came very strong there, that from design to construction to the maintenance, and higher quality. Less people, faster delivery, and higher quality, more value for money, and that was what they wanted. And it was a little bit shock to the market, of course. We are quite traditional people in Finland. We don't like new things that much. So there was lots of questions. It's always very easy to send back the questions and answers. So how to deliver, how to order. Actually, the owners didn't know how to order these kind of services, how to get what they want, how to measure that they got what they want, and also that what means BIM in infrastructure business. In house building and structures, it's more simple. It's geometrics and lots of metadata and so on. But when we go to the roads and motorways, railways, it's more complicated to understand what does it mean. And also that it's not just the one object, it's a long projects, and how to model that, what type of formats we use, because it's totally different formats what we have in infrastructure design than in structural design. How to document this, how to get the official papers, where I sign the papers when I get the models, if it's digital modeling. How we handle the data. We get the models, what do we do with the models? How to store the models, how to use that in the next phases. And also, do we have some kind of training or any services top of this, because they asked very strongly the BIM, but how to do this. So what happened in Finland? We started to build up the common infra BIM requirements. And that was, it's 12 topics, and these 3 rounds over there, we have common infra BIM requirements. What does it mean? What is the BIM in infrastructure branch? And also this classification system, that we know what does it mean when we say carriageway? What does it mean? And also this inframodal data exchange, the format, what is documented and everybody knows. And also how to use that 3 basic rules. There's a documentation undergoing all the time, and actually it's 5th of May 2015 released that 0.0 to 7.1, and February last year we got this topic 8 to 12, so it's quite fresh information. If you want to go and see how it looks today, you go infrabim.fi/en. So you can see, but I have the links in my presentation.
They can contact me.
Yeah, or contact him. There's some parts are translated already to English, and there is ongoing work now that the next generation, because when this was ready, it was old already, because the softwares are going forward all the time, and then they realize that actually it's not like this as we have written. So it's a quite huge work. From where to future? This is a picture what we have used many years, and we discussed about the level of BIMs. And if you go and see the level of BIMs, there's this triangle and lots of detailed data. I don't want to show that theoretical picture that much. I try to simplify that pre-BIM, what most of the people have today, is drawings, and the level 1 is 2D drawings and some visualization models, and level 2 BIM is collaboration models in level 2, So you have different type of models to the one model delivered as a files. And then you have level 3, it's an open, live, standard-based BIM server, where it's a one-line model. If you simplify very strongly this issue. But maybe that's the idea here. Now you know. If he asks next time, all raise your hand. Say that you know. Of course, this all is theoretical issue. Everybody understands it's okay, and so on. Why nothing happened in the beginning? It's a money issue. If you don't order these kind of services or these kind of models, you don't get those. If you don't pay about that, because the value comes to the owner in many ways. So basically, then Finnish transportation agency and big owners, if I remember right, there was a 6 to 10 largest cities, made a decision that the 1st of April 2014, all the services must deliver model-based in infrastructure design, construction and maintenance. And suddenly everybody was using BIM in Finland. But that was the key point why this happened. And also in the same time, there has been lots of training and development around this. And actually now the construction companies and design companies and maintenance companies are building up services and business over or top of the BIM solutions. And that's a good issue, because it's not just the owner, it's the whole life cycle can get more added value. And of course, 1st of May 2014, there was also for structural based requirements like bridges, noise barriers. Those were presented also in May 2014. But what we use in Finland as a format is an inframodel 3 format. It's a land XML format, what is a little bit more rich than the common land XML today. And then we have used IFC in structural models. And in the same time, background, Building Smart is working very hard today to get these to the international level, and also discussion about IFC road, IFC bridge, and so on. That work is going on. But in Finland, we heavily invest in owner side, construction side, and designer side, and software side to get this BIM in infrastructure higher level all the time. Some lessons learned, what we have done. BIM in life cycle, I think normally people ask that when we should use the BIM. What is the big enough project to get added value about the BIM and so on. In Finland we are really good to make these kind of questions and be very suspicious. But what we have seen now in pilots, we have done tens of pilots. Owners have to buy services to make a pilot projects, how to get more added value and measure the value from this BIM. And we have done this conceptual planning. We have used it in normal planning, in design, in construction site, in delivery, how to deliver as build information, and how to use that in maintenance. There's a lot of text in there, so too many times people think that it's only this presentation or this visualization. You have to always clean up that. The model is model, and the presentation is a presentation, or visualization is a visualization. This is, the BIM is always, it tries to go through the life cycle, get more richer, and give added value to the whole value chain in the way to the maintenance. And of course, then we come back to the round circle again after we are in the maintenance. But I think that's this collaboration, that's most important issue there. Okay, then what is the size of the project where you should use BIM? Of course, we have big projects, we have small projects, we have middle-sized projects. And a number of projects, of course, there's a middle size of projects, there is more about that. This is, if I remember right, this is Norwegian crowns in Norway. They were checking that how much the budget goes over. So the percentage, if you have a project which the cost is over 130% of that, what was the goal, I think it's quite much. And as we know, the small projects are also the number of projects. There's lots of projects, so the value of money is there also. So basically, the conclusion was that is it big or small, it doesn't matter. The BIM brings you money back always. Share best practices. That's maybe the whole set in one slide. Sorry, there's too much text for the slide, but I think the main issues what we have learned in Finland is communicate. And that's where we are not really good in communication in Finland. We don't speak, we just drink. And we are not that good lovers either, like Southern Europe, they say, in speaking way. Modeling is part of design, not on phase. This is the most important thing. If you don't remember anything about this presentation, just remember that one line. Don't you ever, never do that. You make a design in traditional way and then you make a modeling afterwards to deliver BIM. That's the most stupid way to use BIM. Use BIM and make official documentation from the model that way. We have been in auditing quite many projects and we have seen that if you put the drawings and the model together, totally different. That's even the owner is willing to pay about that, you should say that okay, that's not the issue. And use from early start to end. When you start the project, decide this is a BIM-based project. We use BIM from the first file, from the first map, you use BIM. And take the advantage. That's most important if you want to earn money about this. And this yellow box maybe, this is sale from Norway, Skanska. It's a quite big contractor. And the manager of there was saying it's more important to concentrate on process than possible limitations. You can always say, it doesn't work here. If you concentrate to limitations, but it's more about the process. BIM is more process. It's technology or software behind of that. It's that not that important there. And don't underestimate yourself or your colleagues. It's more easier than you think. I'm sure about that. Even me and Martin can use BIM models. But any questions or comments in this phase? There's some links. There's this Infra BIM link, and then there's this Building Smart link, and our link to Finland, and triple link to there. But I will be staying here whole day, so just come and ask if you need more information about this. Thank you.
Second.